Right, I don't think I could cover all my girl parts, but there's going to be at least three. I have just remembered actually with the point I was going to make about the female characteristics of the body, and I just sort of smiled and said I've got a little girly curve, and I kind of have to smile about it. But the point is, even in a nice seeming way, and probably a nice intention from the person, every time I've referred to that, people sort of look for it, and then when they spot it, they go, oh, yeah. And that's really fucking horrible to be on the other end of. It just is. It's the little laugh that doesn't mean fuck all to you, and it means loads to the other person. And it's like, because I had all that internal fear and shame of it, I've, it's weird. I'm majoring on a fucking body part that I'm not comfortable with, and I'm finding that difficult to sort of accept about myself. Does that sound like a woman? Because it really fucking does to me, and it's a female part of my body, and that was the kind of thoughts that I was having about it, and just saying, it's just your body, can't you just love it, and all that sort of shit. You know what I mean? But then again, it's like, even when people who were nice about it, there would always be a little bit of a tease, a little bit of a ooh, and it's, yeah, little things mean a lot. That's all I can say. Because, yeah, obviously it meant a lot because I wasn't comfortable with it. But I'm actually not at fault for not being comfortable with it. You're not just automatically supposed to be comfortable with something like that. And obviously the answer is just sort of love and accept yourself. But it's like, that was really fucking hard. That's all there is to it. It internally fucked me up for a long time because I wasn't calling it a woman. Because I was calling it weak, needy, all the other translations of it, over emotional, fucking da 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 da. All the sorts of things that women can describe themselves as being in a very matter of factly way, and it's just seen as a girl thing, a woman thing. And there's me sort of thinking, you don't know how much I fucking relate to you. Seriously. Like, I like pushing the boundaries of cross-dressing. I really do. Like, the other thing I was going to say about the women's trousers was, when women said they don't have to be women's trousers, I'd get a little bit, oi, don't take my women's trousers away from me. Don't take my women's trousers off. Because that was, however anyone else wants to interpret the sort of things I'm talking about, to me, it was fundamental to say that it was a woman's part of me. She chose those trousers because they're pretty. And she liked the colours. She liked them. Like, and when a girl complimented me on them, I said on Facebook, that's only because you want to borrow them. And like, I'd probably would lend them to her. I'd love to see her wearing them and just looking like such a woman in my trousers. But then, and it was the fact that I didn't feel like a fucking sissy about it. I felt like having a laugh about it, but I didn't feel weak and sissified and wrong and bad. And so that's why I love it when I get the feedback in a positive way. That's, when I was getting my ass slapped by women and called babes and shit like that, and sort of spoken to like I was a woman. Do you know what I mean? In a way, in that sort of typically sexualized way. And that's what I was kind of craving. That's what I wanted. And I don't know. I don't know many men that go through that as just a desire. I want to be seen as a whore, but by women. And if a woman can interpret me like that, and then say later in the conversation, like if gayness gets referred to, and she can follow that up with, of course you're not fucking gay, like she already knew that, then I was kind of automatically really fucking like her. Because I don't know what it is. I think I need to play with it a lot, because I don't know, it is like that final acceptance. That was another point I was going to make when I was talking in my last video about how, when you've not fitted in so badly, to get that sort of, by loudly and weirdly not fitting in, I ironically have a role in society, it seems. I have a measure of acceptance. And that's probably why I'm needy of that attention, is it's like, because when you've spent so long walking around in solitude and bewildered and being disconnected, echoes of being connected and accepted are very well fucking appreciated. Or when you've been on the verge of literally ending up walking around not knowing who you are, being one of those people that gets found 3 days later after they've gone missing. They just walk off one day. That's what was close to happening. And, you know, it's not the sort of thing you can boil down really quick, really easily and say, what, because you thought you had a female side, you were going to go insane? But in a kind of way, it was a big contributor to it because of interpretations of it, because of my interpretations and other people's interpretations of it, and my sort of fear of it and non-acceptance of it and all those kinds of things. So it's, you know, in a lot of ways, it's made me feel one hell of a lot more complete, and a lot more like stepping into myself. But I really want to avoid being sort of just seen as a cross-dresser who's okay with doing it publicly, because that's, I'm a bloke. I'm a man, always. That's just how it is. That's just how it is. I can't reject my male side. But so one of the ironies of this is, I remember, you know, this is another thing that was sort of clawing at me from my, 20s, I think it was. I was starting to see counsellors. I was seeing child psychologists when I was like 12, 13. You know, the word therapist and counsellor is not new to me. And various counsellors throughout my 20s would suddenly pose questions about, you know, what is your fear of your masculinity? Why haven't you accepted your masculinity? And all this sort of shit. And I'd be thinking, what the fuck are you talking about? You're afraid of your masculinity. And I was just thought, no, I've been afraid of my femininity. That's what it is. I've been having the issues around masculinity because of my issues with femininity. And that's the way it seems to me, anyway. From this this girly man. But it's lovely that I can say I'm a girly man and actually love that. Like, what was it? My leggings that I've just bought recently. Total women's trousers, but they're awesome. I showed them to a friend of mine in the shop. She went, "They're so you." Instantly, as soon as I pulled them out, she went, "They're so you." And that was just lovely. That was just lovely. How it was a compliment on them. And okay, they look a lot of the times like just really cool trackies. They're not particularly womanly. A lot of women would look at them and say, I don't think they're really that girly. If I would wear them, but I wouldn't think I'm wearing girly trousers. I just think I'm wearing some trousers. I think they've got chains down them. They might have chains or ribbons or something like that. They've just got pattern on them. But my ass looks really fucking womanly in them. And I kind of love it. And when I wear them, I like how they feel when I walk. And it's very fucking female. There's a female kind of ness to when I'm wearing them. And I don't know, that's kind of something I've probably always seen as really sissified myself, you know, like men going and it's all sort of parodied as that, but I was just like, it just feels hot. That's kind of how I felt. It just felt kind of hot wearing them. I can't really describe it in any other way. But like, don't know. I'm a man and I like girls. That's just who I am. But there's this I don't know. There's so much girliness. It had to come out if I can eventually. But I'll do it in a blokey way. I actually want to put a post. I was going to put a post up on Facebook yesterday as a sort of mild challenge to girls with makeup and say, I want you to put makeup on me, but not make me look like a man in drag, not make me look like a woman. Because to be honest, I dressed up like a woman when I was at uni, and I said I'm going to look like a bloke in a dress, and I looked like a bloke in a dress, even though I had a pink wig, I had falsies on, glitter on my arm, all of that. I looked like a fucking bloke in a dress. I was quite happy about that. There's the huge element to it, the manliness of my girliness. But then isn't that how women are sort of seen? You know, warrior chick, all that sort of shit as well. Why can't women be seen as powerful, mighty, fearsome, all that sort of shit? I do think it's a big, it's going to be a big influence on how I sort of interact with women. I think, or view women. I really think it's a positive thing. In that sense. Um, and it's typical me. I take things that were fucking me up and I turn them on their head into magical fairy dust and sparkliness. And that's what I'm going to do with this fucking shit. You watch.